We are back. I'm out of the sling today just because the initial pain's gone, but I'll be having surgery in a couple weeks, so I'm going to try and get this stuff done, or as much of the Land Cruiser pieces done prior to that, because I need to bring you guys content while I'm out of commission full time. So today what are we going to do? We cleaned up the hub and the bearings for both the hub assembly and the pieces that hold the hub to the axle. We're going to throw some grease on those bearings, throw the disc brake on, and put safety wire on all these bolts right here. And hopefully everything fits. And then we'll start doing the same thing for the other side, although we still have some cleaning to do. The whole hub assembly is in the parts cleaner. Yeah, we're going to try and get as much done as possible today. Maybe we'll get parts of this stuff reassembled, clean up the underside of the Land Cruiser a bit, and hopefully we'll have 2 new wheels and tires on the Land Cruiser. Of course, they're going to be pointing in different directions because I don't have the tie rod between the two yet, but let's at least get the wheels and brakes on, because that'll be a big win and it'll start looking better. All right. Let's get to work. So I'm going to pack this with grease and we'll install it on the axle and then we'll work on the hub.
Need my suggestion.
And I almost forgot to put the safety wire through these bolts right there. Each one of these bolts gets a wire and I'll tie them off at the top. Alright, I've got the safety wire in place, so good thing I remembered to do that before I put on the hub. That's all good to go. Sweet. Alright, I'm all sorts of discombobulated. Okay, so this bearing needs to come off. I'm going to put it in there, put the seal on that side, then I'll throw the whole thing on. So give me 2 seconds. Nice block of wood. And my block of wood just broke in half. Luckily, one side is good enough. Alright, so we're going to throw this hub on. I've now got everything assembled, so you don't have to take it apart after the fact. The safety wire is on, the bearing is in, the seal is in. So, let's see if we can get this in the first time and wiggle it on. So, the hub is on, spins. A little stiff because that felt piece behind is super thick, but give it a couple miles and it'll be spinning like a charm. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm gonna take this thing apart again, see if I can get these studs off, and I might have to get some longer ones, but we'll see. So let's get it off, see if we can hammer them out, and then we'll figure out what to do next. Okay, so I've got all the parts on the table. I was doing some checking. So the disc brake, this is why you should always refer to the instructions. According to this, the rotor assembly gets installed onto the hub, so it slips over. It should go on like this. However, it doesn't. right? That's how it should go on. It should go all the way to the bottom. And then the stud should stick through. However, it doesn't. So, discovered that A, my studs are too short. So I just hammered one out. I need a little bit more distance, right? Because I'm not gonna have enough threads to get through both the brake and the actual wheel itself. So I'm gonna go to Napa and get some replacements for this. I also need more lug nuts because some of them are missing over there. But beyond that, let me actually look at how this thing goes together. This over here. The hub's actually too wide for the brakes, and I did see this on YouTube as well. So I think I'm gonna have to grind off a little bit of the outside to get to fit within the disc brake. So that's what I'm gonna do, and it's gonna take, I don't know, a little bit of effort, time, work, etc. So let's bust out the grinder and get to work. I duct taped the hub, so I don't want to take the bearing out and that seal and damage it because I've only got one, so I'm keeping the dust out and start grinding the outside here, and I'm gonna make it fit in the disc brake. So let's get to it. It is in. Got a little bit of clearance. Good to go. So, alright, I'm gonna go to Napa, get some new wheel studs because those are definitely not long enough. We'll press them in and then bolt everything together and we're good to go. So it's been a week since the last sequence in the vlog. Surprisingly, it is very difficult to get these wheel studs. I have to order the ones from Croatia and they're gonna be here May. So with that, I'm going to continue reassembling this knuckle. That way I can get you guys a video as soon as possible. And then I go in for surgery on my shoulder right here in 3 days. So that's going to be a little bit of a setback, but don't worry, we'll still have content coming. All right, let's get to work on this new knuckle. Okay, so we're packing the bearing with grease. So this is one of the ones that goes on top of the knuckle. I got grease all over my hands. I'll show you in a second, but these are gonna get packed with grease. This holds the knuckle in place so we can steer. Just again, using wheel bearing and chassis grease from Napa, except they don't sponsor this video, so just find grease at your local auto parts store. All right, one bearing, nice and greased up. I'm gonna set this on a paper towel and throw the seals on the actual knuckle themselves. The felt seal. Let's see if I can do this without ripping it. Is the rubber seal. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to lather this thing up with some lube. So let's grab the top bearing, see if we can get that in there, and the bottom bearing, see if that'll stick. Grab our control arm right here, these on top of it. Got our seals, and I'm gonna throw some lube on that. And the knuckle. knuckle goes on like so. And then I'm gonna throw this on the top. And now gotta put the back one, the bottom one on. Goes like that, so I'm gonna throw some grease on this and we'll give it a little tap and then cinch the whole thing down. Sweet, so we've got that cinched down. Now it's time to get the seals on. So I'm gonna bolt everything into place, throw some grease on that inner ring. You can see it right there. There's a ring that metal seal goes into, the inner ring. Then the rubber sits on top of that middle piece. The felt goes on top of all of it. And then these things, just like the other side, which you can see over there, cinch everything together. So let's get that all assembled and bolt it up. Now that the rear seal's on, let's pack this thing up with some more grease, clean up that axle, throw it in, and then install all those pieces. Sweet. Axle's all cleaned up. I'm gonna throw some grease on the whole thing, put it in, and then we're good to go. Now I've got the ball. We're gonna put some grease on that and then get the rest of the axle pieces in. And then we'll button the whole thing up. So just a reminder, this ball rotates and then it allows it to move. One thing to know when you're working on axles, you're gonna go through a lot of gloves. So make sure you have a big old pack of black nitriles, link in the description below. If you buy a little bit and like and subscribe, you will support the channel. All right, let's change the gloves, put the gasket on here, and then cinch everything down. So time to put this felt piece in the ring that goes onto the outside of the knuckle again. And pretty much I'm using my modified little screwdriver here that I welded to a pipe. I'll also use a little putty knife as well. So pretty straightforward stuff. got it in. Pain, but just use a flathead screwdriver. A little bit of ingenuity. So I put the bottom, kind of fold it over, put the bottom piece in, the bottom half of the felt in, and then just kind of tuck it underneath with the flathead. And then this will be slightly oversized, and then once you put the hub on, it squishes it even more into place. So should be good. Cool. That's fairly easy. And Ariel got back from a run, so she's going to help with my bad shoulder. All right, so we're gonna put some grease on that. Back side of it first. Yep.
Just all over here?
Yep. Run that grease. We're gonna have to get some more, but and then get it in
In here.
hole.
Okay.
Yeah. Now we're gonna put it through onto that. Spin it. Flat part down. Cool. Wait. Okay. Now go ahead. Oh wait. Take it off. Hold on. Forgot the seal. Okay, now let's put that on there. Okay, all the way on, all the way on. Then line up the holes. Push it all the way. Nope, not the bolt. The whole thing. There we go. Alright, so I forgot to put on the actual important piece, which was the brake caliper bracket. But that's on. In the process of undoing everything, I broke a lock washer. So Ariel's going to look for that while I tighten the rest of these down. And then we might have to run to Lowe's and get another lock washer. Okay, now that we got that in place, rerun the safety wire. These lock washers, not lock washers, a locking set of pliers. And we're just going to start twisting. And a quick snip. And then we bend it over so it's out of the way. There we go. Safety wired up. Cool. All right, so we got the right knuckle assembled, the left knuckle assembled. We are waiting for wheel studs because some of these were broken and I need them to be about 5 to 10 millimeters longer. So those will show up in May. In the meantime, that's it for this episode. Next episode, we're probably going to get started on the rear wheels. Ariel filming, waving to the camera. So make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Peace.